Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Mike here at Game from Scratch, and I have a really interesting Humble bundle today. This is the Create Comics and Manga bundle. This is the first bundle I could think of that was aimed directly at artists, specifically comic artists, anime artists, manga artists, that kind of things. It's all kinds of books about drawing, from traditional media to even inking florals to figure drawing, manga drawing, drawing vampires and zombies and so on. There's a large swath of books, but everything here, common theme, it's about drawing. So if you've always wanted to get better about your drawing, this could be a good opportunity to pick up a bunch of books. Now, this is kind of a funny thing with Humble. It's kind of feast or famine. You go months with nothing, and then boom, 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 we get a bunch in a row. And this is the second one this week. There's also one about design. I did a video on it earlier this week. I'll do a quick recap at the very end of this video. But today we're looking again at Create Comics and Manga. Now, if you're new to Humble, the way this basically works is a collection of stuff organized into tiers around a common theme. In this case, comics, manga, and drawing. You decide how your money is allocated between charity, between Humble, between the publisher, and if you so choose, and thanks so much if you do, to support Game from Scratch. This one, again, pretty straightforward, a collection of digital books. As I mentioned earlier on, I buy these every time to let you know what you're going to get. The cool thing about this bundle is I would have bought it anyways. I've always wanted to get better at drawing. I've got a couple of traditional books on the topic, and every time I pick them out, I do kind of get back into it for a little bit, and then something comes along and I throw it all away anyways. But today what we're looking at, first here, we have Cool Cars, Learn the Art of Cartooning Step by Step. You can draw manga chibis, drawing manga, how to draw magical, monstrous, and mythical creatures, how to draw vampires, cartooning character design, and the Cartoonist Bible. So even if you look at just at the $1 tier, you're getting 7 books there, all of them of somewhat interest to me, actually. Next up, we're jumping up to the $10.73 Canadian tier, which I think would be called $8 US, and we're looking at how to draw cars like a pro, 1,000 incredible costume and cosplay ideas. Okay, that one's a little random in this selection, I got to admit. Drawing in black and white, how to draw with a ballpoint pen. You can draw manga chibi characters, critters, and scenes. Fairies in the incredibly hard to read font. Fairies in colored pencil. We've got how to draw zombies, and finally, the art of drawing people. Now, this is an iconic book. This was published I think this is about as old as I've been alive. Now, that's the nice thing about this bundle, though. They're books on drawing. It's not like a new pencil comes along every other year and obsoletes previous pencils. So there is no real expiration date on any of the knowledge contained in here. And for the most part, a lot of the techniques used in drawing and animation and so on were invented in the 30s, the 40s, or the 50s. Haven't really changed all that much. All right, finally, we're at the $15 tier. Once again, you buy this tier, you get the $8 and $1 tier as well, by the way. And here we get 100 faces and figures, drawing comics lab, the chibi art class, 100 things every artist should know, illustration studio inking florals, Dragons and Fantasy. Now, this is another iconic book. It has been around, again, as long as I've been going to bookstores, and I've been so interested in it all these years. I've never actually picked it up. And then Illustration Studio, drawing manga heroines and heroes. And then we've got drawing perspective methods for artists. And these kind of things are always universally useful. I have the iconic book on perspective downstairs. I forget what it's called, but this is another of the classic books. Been around for a very, very, very long time. And then figure drawing methods for artists. And You Can Draw Comic Book Characters is the final book in this collection. Again, a pretty straightforward collection. And what it basically boils down to, if there's a single book in there that is of interest to you, again, it's not like we have first, second, third, fourth, and fifth editions like we do in computer books. Everything here is probably as current as you're going to get. One book justifies the entire bundle. So if you have any interest in drawing or anime or manga or that kind of stuff, or if you're just a traditional 3D artist, but you want to pick up a little bit more logic on, perspective and faces and poses and so on and so forth, this could be a good pickup for you. Or you could be just like me, buy it, add it to your digital library, and probably never look at it again because you've got so many things going on. Now, on the topic of buying it and in your digital library, well, I bought it, and here is my digital library. So you can see every single book here. You get them in PDF, EPUB, and MOBI formats. That's actually kind of nice to see, because I thought with some of these books being a little bit more on the aged side, we might be seeing PDF scans only. So it's nice to see all three. So if you're using a Kindle or whatever, you've got good support here. The nice thing is, once again, as I say in every Humble Basic video, their servers are rock solid and you can store your stuff on their servers. Plus, they've got a search built in. So as your library gets bigger, it's easier to find your stuff and so on. But here, for example, is a 47 megabyte PDF that I am going to download, and boom, there it is. So as you can see, their servers are very fast. So you can use them to basically store the books as you need them. No need to download them to your own side, although Humble may not like me suggesting that. But basically, yeah, and here is one of the books. I don't even know which one I did. I just kind of picked one randomly. But this looks like a general art style thing. You want to pick up your skills a little bit better. As you can see, the scan qualities are quite nice. Yeah, so really, again, a straightforward bundle this time. And as I mentioned earlier on, there is also the Humble Book Bundle game design and animation. I'll link that down below as well. That one is more on pretty much a broad swath of game development, such as even like game engines. There's a book in there on Unreal. There's a book in there on Unity. There's a book in there on Godot. There's a couple books in there on animation. There's a book on there on GLSL shaders, actually two. So just if you're looking for a broad game development books, the only downside is it's packed press. Whereas in this case, I don't really know this publisher, to be honest. So I can't give you an opinion in that regard. I know, again, some of these books, these classic books, I've seen hundreds of times in bookstores back when bookstores existed, but I don't really know much about them in general. So if you've got experience with any of these books and you can make a recommendation for or against Quarto. I don't really know Quarto, so let me know what you think of their books if you have experience in the topic in the conversation down below. And yeah, that's about it. So it's the Create Comics and Manga Humble Bundle. It's one of those things that they've never really covered, and whenever Humble move into a new area that is still relevant to game development, I'm always a bit excited by that. And like I said, I would have picked up this bundle anyways. Am I ever going to read it? I don't know, but I have the information on hand, I guess you could say. And the more and more my library grows, the more I have access to. So let me know what you think of this bundle, and I will talk to you all later. Goodbye.